Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the OK Grognard Show. It is Sunday, September 27th, 2020, 9:30 a.m., or just after, Central, in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. It's Sunday, so that means it's Rules Retrospective Day. We'll be looking into the first edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide section on ability score generation. It's the goods. It's a lot of fun. I am going to say a couple of things first, though. One being, this is show 199, and it is the last show. That will be at 9:30 a.m. Did I get you there almost? This is the last show at 9:30 a.m. We are moving it. Cut myself shaving. I'm just going to leave that on there. That's how cool I am. I can just wear stuff like that and probably be trending tomorrow. There'll be a hashtag shaving cut tomorrow on Twitter that I think everyone will be wearing them in the future. And the show will begin at 10 a.m. instead. So I moved it. I think it was show 100? Was it show 50 that I moved it from 10:30 to 9:30? Might have been like 50. This is a while ago. We're 6 months in now, and I can't even remember. I would have to look at the starting times on YouTube of older videos and just see. But you know what? Macht's nix, as we say, auf Deutschland, because it's mostly watched in recording anyway, I think. I mean, it's great when people can come to the stream and stuff, but you do a first edition D&D show in the middle of the morning, in the middle of the country, I don't think you're expecting a whole lot of people to show up. We did this as a way of keeping track of the days of the week and give me something to do to help me from going nuts through the lockdown, as it were. And here we are, just over 6 months later, and we're still going. I did more than one show a day on a number of days earlier in the show. I've done a few streams later in that run of 200, but I'm not giving them episode numbers. I just threw them out there, and they were on the Twitch recordings until they fall off 2 weeks later. Maybe that's changed, though. I just re-upped my Prime membership at Amazon, which gives me certain benefits now that I've tied my Twitch account to my Prime account. It lets me do some subscribing with other people's channels. And I don't know. I'm going to look into some of this a little more with what one can do, what other advantages one gets from doing that thing. And obviously, if there's something involved that is worthwhile for myself to have or to keep track of, or that is valuable that I can pass on to somebody that's checking out the show, then I want to be able to do that. So I'm going to have to look into what other benefits are available from that. Anyway, Virtual Greyhawk convention this weekend. Somebody upgraded their logo and threw it onto their Discord channel. It's a little less colorful, but in my mind, it's more striking. One of my missions this week is to find out who made that original logo with the multicolor things. Now that is the DMG, Henry Armitage. Indeed. Indeed, sir. And, yeah, we're starting a new week, right? This is week 27 for the show. How about that? I gotta update my paperwork. Week 27. I'm gonna pull all these people out. They were on last week's list, which is good. And Henry Armitage, we are adding you. There we go. Bum, 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 bum. Very good. Done and done. Yep, we're going to review a section of the first edition Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide today. That section being the ability score generation section. Probably one of the more useful sections, right? I mean, you can't really run a game without it. And clear that off there. Throw that up there. Oops, we got to fix that. Just doing a little paperwork here, right? Drive through. There we go. And get my hashtags form ready for later as well. Beautiful. We discuss the 1E AD&D DMG character ability score generation. No, that's too many E's. Generation, agility score generation. Yeah. Section. I guess we can add that in there. Beautiful. So that's all set. Hey, what is the I just mentioned in before you got here? The show is going to start at 10 a.m. tomorrow and for the foreseeable future. 10 a.m. starting with show 200 tomorrow. And I have some other news and announcements, obviously, to make tomorrow regarding various other whatnots. I don't know. Does any of that make sense? Did I just say nothing, basically? Obviously, with what's its name? Virtual Greyhawk Con tomorrow. Oh, he hasn't won since the dice. All right. I picked a winner for a Virtual Greyhawk Con badge for tomorrow. I have not gotten in touch with them yet. So I'll make that announcement tomorrow, provided I can track them down and get their acceptance of the badge. If not, then I will pass it on to someone else. So there you go. What else? Okay, so we're switching the time to 10 a.m. starting tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 200th show. I will be doing shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday as part of Virtual Greyhawk Con. And they will be 1 hour in length, or closer to 1 hour. I know we always tend to go a little bit over a half hour, and that's okay. We're not, this isn't some like network where we've got, something coming on our heels and we have a certain time slot or whatever. It's kind of open. We doing it for about a half hour is kind of an arbitrary thing, and that's okay. That doesn't hurt anybody, and it doesn't hurt us if we go longer. And because all things start on the hour for Virtual Greyhawk con and other conventions too, generally speaking. We might as well go from 10 a.m. to almost 11 a.m. So, will you be hosting some virtual GreyhawkCon games on your channel? It is something I'm considering. I have till tomorrow at 10 p.m. tomorrow night to submit games for virtual Greyhawk Con. And there's something I was working on that I thought would, for a while I thought, well, I don't really run Greyhawk stuff, so I've always run my Grimwald setting since 1974 when I started. Granted, it was only a dungeon in a little town nearby when I started home brewing, when I started playing back in the day, but it's still no hosting existing games that are set. Not yet. However, there's something I was working on, and if I can spend some time on it today, I will announce it for tomorrow. So we will decide then. If I do it, the other thing is, of course, I'm not just going to run it at Virtual GreyhawkCon. I'm going to run it at Autumn Revel as well. And then it'll be something that I've spent enough time on to make it worth running at conventions. I might as well run it at any virtual convention. But I don't know. I don't know if it's ready. It might not be ready until Autumn Revel. But it has enough of a Greyhawk tinge to it that I think I could do it, and it would be worthy of virtual GreyhawkCon. I don't want to take something on there that, doesn't fit with what they're doing. But this actually might work. So I will let everybody know tomorrow. And as I said, starting tomorrow, 10 a.m. is showtime, and it'll be that way going forward. So I'm changing our regular schedule. Here, I even already changed it on here. So 7 days a week, 10 a.m. Central. 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m., 10 a.m. So keep that in mind. And because that's going to be its own hour slot show, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm going to do the little time afterwards to get the upload done and do the other kind of busy work that always follows doing a show. However, if I have about an hour, and it'll give me time to grab a quick bite for lunch too, if I'm going to run something, it's going to be at noon to 4. It'll be first edition. It'll be, Yeah, let me check something here. I got a little PM real quick. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, you could have put that in the chat. That's no big deal. Yeah, so yeah, they do this thing on Twitch called hosting, and when you're not up and streaming yourself, you can create a list. I think of 5, maybe even more, other Twitch channels that your channel can host as an additional material going out on your channel. You can take those 5 and you can put them in a particular order so that when you're not actually streaming, it'll check the first one, then it'll check the second one, and the first one it comes across that is running something will be hosted through your channel. Or you can actually, I think one of the settings is you can do it at random. So it'll check your pile of, and then pick one at random and host it. There's also rating. So if you're running a show, a Twitch stream, and you finish up and you want to have your audience, ask your audience to then all move en masse to another live stream, then you can kind of take everybody over there and say, hey, we're here to watch you too. Raid, raid, raid. And that helps their numbers, and it's good for them. And then, of course, the people that are watching your stream get to view another stream, usually one that you probably watch yourself. So chances are it's in your taste spectrum. It would be weird if I left this stream and dragged everybody on a raid over to like an antique car stream, or something animal husbandry. It's gonna watch a cow give birth over in a half hour, so I better finish up so we can get over there. I mean, you could do all sorts of things, but generally speaking, gamer channels raid other gamer channels, and art channels tend to do that, and sometimes there's some crossover in that realm. Certainly map makers and that sort of thing. Anyway, we're more than halfway through the show, and we haven't gotten to the topic yet. It's a rules retrospective today, and what we were looking at was the excellent generation of ability scores for player characters. What up with that? What I think I'll do is I'll pop over here. It'll be a little more easy to follow. As AD&D is an ongoing game of fantasy adventuring, it is important to allow participants to generate a viable character of the race and profession which he or she desires. Well, it is possible to generate some fairly playable characters by rolling 3d6. And they left out in order. There is often an extended period of attempts at finding a suitable one due to the quirks of the dice. Furthermore, these rather marginal characters tend to have short life expectancy, which tends to discourage new players, as does having to make do with some character of a race and or class which he or she really can't or won't identify with. Character generation then is a serious matter, and it is recommended that the following systems be used, for alternatives are offered for play. Method 1 is the one I've seen most often used. Hey Artanis, how you doing today? You really didn't miss anything. And in fact, if you got here at this time tomorrow, you'd be 10 minutes early, because starting tomorrow and going forward with show 200, we're moving our start time back to 10 a.m. So we went from 10:30 to 9:30, and now we're going back to 10 a.m. for a start time going forward. It'll just be a little easier for me to deal with, and I'm not sure why I didn't just move it to 10 a.m. in the first place, but there you go. Method 1. All scores are recorded and arranged in the order the player desires. 4d6 are rolled, and the lowest die, or one of the lower, is discarded. That is the method that we landed on early on as the method we would use once we started, once we got the DMG, and that became what we used all the time. Method 2, all scores are recorded and arranged as in Method 1. 3d6 are rolled 12 times, and the highest 6 scores are retained. Not bad. It's an interesting one. It still stays on the bell curve of 3d6. So you're not skewing the curve to the higher end. However, by extending your sample size, you increase the number of average scores you will get those toward the center of the bell curve, and it allows you to chop off the lower scores, keep the higher scores, and have some middling scores to keep in there. I think our group normally did method 1, says Bob. Henry Armitage, forgive me. Method 3, scores rolled are according to each ability category in order: strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma. And notice that order. At some point, maybe it was during 3rd edition, maybe it was 4th, they started doing, what did they start doing? Strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma. But this was always the way we did it from the beginning, with strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma. The first 5, just the initial, first initial being how we would write it on the sheet, and CH for charisma as the 6th score, which always made it stand out a little bit, which made it easier to find when you needed a dump stat. Hey, what up with that? 3-6 are rolled 6 times for each ability, and the highest score in each category is retained for that category. So you make a sort of a grid, and then you cherry pick all the best scores because you've rolled 6 times for each ability with 3d6, which actually skews even further higher up the bell curve. But individual dice rolls, again, because it's 3d6, you're not dropping the lowest, doesn't skew individual rolls. It basically increases your pool and allows you to cluster higher up the curve. Method 4. 3d6 are rolled sufficient times to generate the 6 ability scores in order for 12 characters. How about that? We've done this. It's a big pain in the ass, because you're rolling and you're rolling and you're creating these things, and you look and you see all these neat potential characters with one super crappy roll in there. The player then selects a single set of scores, because you've done these in order, and you've done it 12 times. You basically have rolled up 12 different characters, and then you select a single set, one of those characters that you find most desirable, and those scores are noted on the character record sheet. So, a lot of extra rolling in that one, right? Like I say, method 1 was the method we used most often. I'm not going to go into it for non-player characters, henchmen, and so on and so forth, and the effect of wishes on ability scores. All of that is a little more nebulous. We're just generating player characters. So there you go. Strength, intelligence, wisdom, dexterity, constitution, charisma. Method 1 for you, Luxfire, as well. Some methods made it more difficult to hit sufficient minimums to qualify for some class, ranger, or paladin, etc. Indeed. You know what? We did a show on Larry Hamilton, who, by the way, happy birthday, Larry. I know it's your birthday today. We did a show on Larry Hamilton in an article Larry wrote on his Follow Me and Die channel. Was that a couple weeks ago? And he talked about the different things the way he played first edition. Essentially, he was giving a list of what he ignored, what he jettisoned, as well as some of his own house rules. And one of the methods he did was to, if somebody wants to play a ranger, okay, well, we're going to guarantee you have those minimums at least. So roll up your character, arrange them the best you can, and we'll see where we need to raise stuff up to get you there. And that's an interesting method. I question it in some ways because, remember, even in the player's handbook, they mentioned that no more than 3 Rangers can travel together. Rangers are meant to be a rare class, as are Paladins, and part of what keeps them rare are the various methods of rolling up ability scores mean you're not going to see many of them. It's tough to get a 17 or 18 for charisma. It's tough to get multiple um, multiple prime requisite scores. Monks were tough too because of that, but I don't use monks, so I don't care. And perhaps it is nostalgia and familiarity, but reading this rule just feels so good. I hear you, man. It's the story of my life, right? Every time I revisit some chunk of these rules and pontificate on them or discuss them with people, I find myself hearkening a time when there was a lot of fun. Hey, I'm popping the mic. Nice. All right, look, there wasn't a lot to do with the ability scores except go over them and make some comments on them, which meant it was going to be a fairly short day today anyway. And that's why I didn't mind talking a lot at the beginning of the show. I do want to mention too, my condolences to the friends and family of Pamela Abbott. She lost her fight with cancer yesterday and passed. And she was a regular Gary Con goer, and she'd make it up to the store from time to time. And she will be missed. So, that said, I'm going to jump to our closing screen. Don't forget, 10 a.m. tomorrow. We move to 10 a.m. This is the last time. One of these should say 9:30 a.m. because from now on it's going to be 10 a.m. I'll mess that up, no doubt. When I'm fashioning my title plate for one of these upcoming shows. Hopefully this week I'll basically sort out most of them. But every now and then I dip back in to grab a title plate from earlier and just update it. And I'll forget to change the time. You watch. It'll happen. But anyway, here we go. Today, thank you very much for popping in and joining in on the show and the Twitch stream. Don't forget, if you're here, be sure to follow the stream and be sure to chime in on the stream chat. Once a week, we give something away to somebody who is a follower who has chimed in on the stream chat. There is no purchase necessary. We do, hey, Australia guy, what's up, Heath? We do, what was I going to say? Oh, we do ask you to chime in on the stream chat because that's our way of making sure that you are not a bot. There's really no more to it than that. It's not a matter of trying to get anything extra out of you. Tanis 82. Whoop, wait. I gotta find your. There you are, Sarah. There we go. Sarah, I still have. Long as I'm talking here, I still have a copy of the 13th Warrior that is due to you. One of these days, I gotta go out of my way and make sure I drop it off for you or something. Anywho, I want to thank everybody for following the show, for chiming in on the stream chat. It's a big deal. It's a big help for me, and I appreciate it. Makes it all the more fun and easy to do the show. Don't forget, going forward, 10 a.m. starting tomorrow with weekly news and announcements, cartography and world building on Tuesday, campaign discussion on Wednesday, GMing tips on Thursday, building adventures on Friday, GM reviews on Saturday, and the rules retrospective on Sunday. And hey, if you're catching up with us on YouTube, thank you very much for doing that. subscribe to the channel and give us a thumbs up. And I thank you very, very much from the OK Grognard Show in beautiful Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. Bye-bye.